Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel of Allah from the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, wherever it may be. Real quick, just an article that I came across a few days ago. This is from Technology, which says flying MOTBs or chip micros the size of a sand grain could be used for population surveillance. Okay, now when you think of population surveillance, you think of what they call a dystopia or totalitarianism. You see, like if you go out there to China, they have what they call a social credit score, which is basically dependent on your status quo in society, on how you fare with governments and so forth. You have what they call give me 1 second, man. This guy, give me 1 second, brothers. As soon as I start doing the lesson, then people want to come. But anyway, when you think of China's social-based credit system, it's based on their status quo in society, on how probable of a citizen that they are. You know, if they have issues with the law enforcement, with the police, or issues with certain things and certain standards in society, it depends, and it goes on a social credit score. Okay, which China is pretty much based on communism. You see, and through the spirit, that's the society that America is getting ready to harbor into. A society that's full of being surveillance. Like if you ever watched that movie called, it came on Prime about a year ago, man. It's called, it's on the tip of my tongue. Songbird. Okay, Songbird basically dealt with lockdowns, and it dealt with basically people being contained and them knowing your whereabouts. Okay, and with this charagma that they're shortly getting ready to institute, this will harbor nonetheless. Okay. So it says it's neither a bird nor a plane, but a winged microchip as small as a grain of sand that could be carried by the wind as it monitors such things as population levels or the spread of airborne diseases. Okay, so this is what they're using to so-called or propagate being in control, to put you under one dominant rule, because this is all about the NWO. Okay, which we've been speaking on the NWO for quite some time. Now you have the UN, the United Nations, which basically is coming to the round table to stop quote-unquote disinformation on government officials or government entities, man. Okay, because people are waking up to the fact that the very lives that they're living is being manipulated by the global elite. Okay, everything that you see, everything that's harboring is systematically controlled by the so-called white man, mainly the elites. Even going back into the Roman Empire, you had a monarchy. Going back into Greece, okay, you had rule, you had dominant rule. You had in this day and age, you have what they call a monarchy as well, when the 1% is pretty much in control of everything. Like if you look at the table legs, basically we're the table legs, and the elites is eating at the table off our backs. Okay, and this is how the rich stay rich and the poor gets poor. You know, but it says tiny flyers that can gather information about their surroundings. The device don't have a motor. Engineers were instead inspired by maple trees' free-falling propeller seeds. Okay, technically known as Samara fruit. It says the engineers optimized the aerodynamics of microfibers, okay, so that as these structures fall through their air, and the interaction between the air and those wings cause a rational motion that creates a very stable, slow-falling velocity. It says John A. Rogers, who led the development devices. Like the scriptures say, we're not ignorant of his devices. It says these allowed structures to interact for extended periods with ambient wind that really enhances the dispersal process. It said the Northwestern professor of the materials science and engineering, biomedical engineering, and neurological surgery. Okay, and when you think of neurological or neural, you're thinking of like of nerves and so forth. Okay, then you got brain scans, and then you have nerves, etc. Okay, you got your what they call your what's the name of that system? You're not your neurological, but basically, man, you got your central nervous system. Okay, that pretty much controls everything. And I got to come back and do a part 2. Anyway, I knew this was going to happen when I started to do a show, then they want to pull off. But I'm going to do a part 2 to this lesson. So with that, shalom and a blah, blah, blah.